My name is Ollie Hall. I'm a lifelong resident of Middleburg. I'm very happy to be doing this interview for future generations.
My name is William Franklin Swann, and I am here to share with you some of the things that Middleburg carries with them, and that I hope that whoever see it or look at it, they will benefit from it.
As far as I know, we came from Fauquier County, but when they moved to Middleburg area because of jobs. My father worked at Foxcross School, and my mother did domestic work, so it was closer for them to live here in order to get to their jobs.
My father working at Foxcross, he brought us here at an early age, so we came over here at an early age in our lives, so we was spend best portion of our time here in the town of Middleburg. Lincoln Road seemed like more like a place where I came from, Marshall. Most of the people was friendly, kind, and therefore it wasn't hard for a person to live on Lincoln Road and then without getting involved within the community. Being moved here, I didn't know that many people here, so I got to know quite a few of the people here in Middleburg through Asbury. My favorite memories of the people there at Asbury, being very friendly, kindly, and they were so that if you got to know them, you had to fall in love with them because of their way they carry themselves.
We're Baptists. I married into the Hall family, and most of them were Methodists at Asbury. So I have many memories of attending Asbury. One favorite memory was the Hall family had sort of a reunion, and all of our little babies were dressed and sang in the choir and had little speeches, and it was really a wonderful time. It was a happy place. You had children all over the place. You had families that shared with each other, that took care of each other. If somebody did something, you didn't have to get home before they were corrected. Somebody in that area would correct them. I heard some of my friends and ones that have moved away, they might have gone to Sunday school at Asbury and then left there and went to Shiloh for church. So it's a good feeling to know that how that area, everybody got along and everybody looked out for each other. And it was a wonderful place, I felt, when I lived down there. Yeah. During that time, there was a community center, and people from everywhere came. They played basketball, and pitched horseshoes. And one of the things that I found most profound was that the guys really respected the churches. If they were having something in the afternoon, they didn't play basketball and they didn't play horseshoes. They respected the churches and did not play during that time. But people from Fairfax, Warrenton, everywhere came to Middleburg to play on that court, and they had a wonderful time. Some of the experiences that I've talked to other people about that I didn't really experience, our parents were kind of protective and kept us from some of those experiences. But in one of the drugstores, when a black person went in, there was a square that they had to stand in and wait to be recognized. And it was, at that time, I guess, it was something that was accepted. We didn't fight against it at the time, but it was an accepted behavior. But like I say, I was kind of sheltered from a lot of it. I didn't experience a lot of the being shunned, in other words. I only remember going to the back window at one time to receive fast food.
I got involved personally into integrating Middleburg.
NAACP and somebody else had approached him and I think 3 or 4 of his other friends They wanted someone that did not work in Middleburg at the time, so there would be repercussions when they did do that. And that was during the time of when President Kennedy was president, and he had come to live in our area, and they thought it would be a shame if he came and Middleburg wasn't integrated. So him and his buddies, they did it. And it brings great pride to me that he was able to do that and there were no repercussions for it.
One of his other co-workers or his friends that went to set in, when they went to 3 different restaurants, and they sat in each restaurant for 10 minutes, and then they got up and left. And from what I understand, y'all were called names that I don't want to say on tape, and people looked at them real hard, and you reported back to the NAACP and a couple other people. 2 weeks later when they went back, correct me Dad, the people did say that you did get served. And y'all were really full, but you kept on walking.
I think it was said that Middleburg was one of the first towns to be integrated at that time in the area. Saying Leesburg, different Purcellville, all of those. Middleburg, because of what he and his friends did, they were one of the first towns to be integrated, and it's great pride.
Well, it feels good to knowing that you had helped society out. That you just didn't come along and just to be there, but you were there and you done a part of, I guess, of that story of loving and being kind to one another.
And in years past, you could come downtown, anywhere in town, and see somebody that you knew. You don't have that anymore. I was sharing with Diane that there were many, many black businesses in Middleburg, black-owned businesses in Middleburg. The cleaners, the roofers, the blacksmith, shoe shop, restaurants. I think Willie Jackson was a contractor, I think helped build his house. Most of those have died out. Their children didn't follow in their footsteps. I think that's what's changed because the children, because of economics, they couldn't afford to live here and moved away. And there are just a few that are still here, fighting the fight and trying to uphold what we know. Some of us that are still around, and even families that have moved away, we still talk about it when we get together. And we remember those days, yeah. Because it's history, and just like you have history books, there are stories in there, but our story isn't in there. So this will be for generations to come, to let them know that when they go see a face that looks like theirs, they know there's a rich history there that is being preserved, and that it's a history we're proud of. We survived, if for a better word. We survived what was going on at the time.
And instead of, going off somewhere looking for somewhere else, they can build it right here in Middleburg. This is one thing that we need to put a lot of emphasis on. Middleburg can grow, can be what we look for it to be if we would stick together, do what's right in the sight of the Lord.
The history of this place is resilience, that the black people stood together, fought together, lived together, loved together, and kept this town going.